You say what? Okay. Okay. Let me test you. No, he said yes. Okay. Can I go? Good morning, everyone. My name is Tola Adekunle-Johnson. I'm a special assistant to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria on micro, small, and medium enterprises in the Office of the Vice President. And I'm glad to be here with you this morning and have your say. When we came into government in 2015, we're asked to look at the SME space, the micro enterprise space, to see what can be done to alleviate the sufferings of the various MSMEs across the nation. The first thing we did was to look at the different regulatory agencies across board. That's to look at those agencies that were responsible or that are responsible for the day-to-day activities, regulating the activities of the different SMEs across the nation on a daily basis, and to look at the impact that they've been making, and also to see how things can be done differently. So to this end, the President graciously approved what you now call the National MSME Clinic, which is being run by the National Economic Council. That's the NEC. What this tend to do was to bring together the most crucial federal and state government regulatory agencies in the MSME sectors. Bring together the likes of NAFDAC, CAC, FRS, BOI, NEPC, SON, NITDA, all the likes, and a few private sector, to look to see how to reorganize that space, in the sense that the MSMEs themselves will have confidence, absolute confidence, in whatever it is that those agencies were doing. So the National SME Clinic started in January 2017. We had a situation where all the DGs and heads of parastatals of these agencies, along with His Excellency Mr. Vice President, and the minister in charge of trade and investment, will go into a state and have a stakeholders meeting with SMEs. It's usually a 2-day event. The first day, you have SMEs come out in their numbers to speak to these parastatals, that's the agencies. SMEs come out and bore their hearts out to tell the agencies what issues that they have. Basically speaking, if you're an SME in that state, maybe your issue has always been with a NAFDAC number. You will see NAFDAC there that day to ask you where your issues are and how they can resolve such issues. Whether it's BOI for credit facility or DBN also for credit facility, or even Nexim. So the SMEs usually on day one will have a day to interact, and we call it a day of problem solving between the federal government agencies regulating regulating the space, and the MSMEs themselves, where they interface to solve problems. Then the next day, you have the VP, the governor of the state, the minister, and other VIPs come on board to also have a heart-to-heart, deep conversation with the SMEs themselves. I'm sure in the past you must have seen clips of the Vice President asking, touring some of the stores of the different MSMEs, asking them questions, asking them how the government can improve their businesses, and if, for instance, an SME comes up with a problem and says that, oh, this is a state-related problem, the governor is usually there by His Excellency to say, oh, okay, we are not aware of this problem, but however, we have the Commissioner for Commerce and Industry here. He can refer the problem to the appropriate quarters. And one thing about these clinics is that there's a follow-up. So it's not an event that people come, take pictures, and then 2 days later, nobody has, there are no M&Es or whatever. There's a proper follow-up. If a problem is scaled up, once a problem is identified, there's an MSME clinic secretariat that handles such problem and moves it to the agencies involved. Once the agencies involved says, okay, they'll give you a timeline to tell us if you have solved that problem or not. If the agencies involved says, oh, this is a problem we will need to scale up further to the minister, we get the Honorable Minister involved. If it's something that might need to be scaled up to either Mr. President or Mr. Vice President, Mr. Vice President gets involved and scales it up to Mr. President. So that's how that has operated so far. And it's been successful, hugely successful. We've been to 26 of all such editions of the clinics, basically. And we've been able to, as a result of going around, we now identified various problems. We now identified the issues of, we now identified the fact that a lot of MSMEs, as good as their products were, they will tell you that their businesses are not registered. So the MSME clinic, in partnership with the Corporate Affairs Commission, last year decided to launch a rebate registration for micro enterprises, business name registration. So they decided they decided to go on a scheme. A scheme was approved for them to launch a special edition of registration for business and for micro businesses. The price was reduced from 10,000 to 5,000 naira for an initial 3 months. But because of how successful this was, it was now increased from it was extended from 3 months to another 3 months. So in the 6 months of this scheme, CAC was able to register almost 300,000 new businesses within 6 months. Almost 300,000 new businesses within 3 months, basically. And we also realized that there are SMEs that will tell us, oh, we could have done better with our businesses if we had access to world-class equipment at a highly subsidized or reduced rate. But because the federal government cannot afford really to buy every MSME's an equipment, a world-class equipment. So the idea of a shared facility came to bear. A shared facility is when you set up a cluster, the state will identify whatever cluster that makes business sense to them. The state, for instance, a state can say, oh, what is very popular amongst our MSMEs or amongst our SME clusters here is fashion. So it would be nice for you to help us get like a world-class fashion cluster with the monogram equipment and etc., etc. Now, it is in believing that the state will have done its own due diligence because we allow them to do that. The federal government or the MSME clinic does not dictate to any state on what clusters to come up with. Now, in so doing, we set out as a clinic, we establish a shared facility for you. Now, MSMEs in your state are able to go into such shared facility, use those equipment at a highly subsidized rate. Imagine an equipment that would have cost an SME like 15, 20 million, whatever it is. They'll use such an equipment, basically, and pay a token for using such an equipment. In most cases, they are not meant to pay more than maybe 2,000, 3,000 naira or whatever it is that is set by the appropriate quarters. This we're trying to do, basically. And we launched 2 pilot schemes in 2019 just to get a sense of what the bigger picture will be. One pilot scheme was launched in Bauchi for shea butter and for soap making, and one was launched in Ibadan for shea butter and fashion. This was just to give us a sense of what the bigger picture would look like, basically. Now, as we speak, on the 9th of June, His Excellency, Mr. Vice President, and the Governor of Benue State virtually will be commissioning the Benue State Shared Facility. This is actually a huge one. Since what the Benue State government requested was to tell us that, okay, we have a yam market called Zakibiam Yam Market. And in this market, you have almost 200 trucks of yam tubers that comes in and out of the market. However, the biggest challenge they had in the market was storage facility. With storing yam, you have to be very careful because you have to perforate the buildings and all whatnot. But they did not have enough storage facility. So what the clinic did was to facilitate that for them. Now they have a storage facility that has the capacity to store at least 200,000 tubers of yam at the same time. Some of their sheds, the sheds where they used to sell their goods, were also refurbished for them. There are about 60 new sheds. They have a security facility now, and they have solar panel lighting, all in a market in Zakibiam, Benue State. This will be commissioned on the 9th, virtually by His Excellency Mr. Vice President and other stakeholders of the Benue State. From there, we'll move to Anambra. Anambra asked for a leather production facility, and something is being commissioned. Something will be commissioned in a place called Ubunike. We want to believe between the next 2 months, as the government is almost done with its own end of the bargain. So the building will be delivered in another month or thereabouts, and the equipment will be installed. Thereby, the facility will be commissioned as well. The intention of the federal government is to commission at least 6 of these projects before the end of the year, even in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. Even in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic, what Mr. President has said through the Vice President is that whatever we can do as a government that will not risk the lives of anyone, we should try and ensure that we go ahead with it. So, for instance, whilst listening and obeying the rules and regulations of NCDC and the other health regulatory agencies, we are going ahead to commission the shared facilities. We are also going ahead to organize the 3rd National MSME Awards. This awards is in its 3rd year. And like I said a few minutes ago, we're faced with the challenge of postponing it till next year. But when Mr. Vice President briefed the President, Mr. President said, how can we creatively achieve these awards without putting the lives of anyone at risk or in danger? And we resorted to having a virtual edition. Basically, for him, it is a situation where whatever we can do, even in the midst of this pandemic, whatever is possible for us to do as a government that will not put anyone in danger, especially the small business owners, that will not suffer them, we should go ahead and ensure we do it 100%. Basically, so the award will still go on. Then we also have, now, in all of this, there are challenges. But before the challenges, I will speak about our future plans. In future, we want a situation, we want to have an SME environment where SMEs go about their businesses without being bothered by anyone. But the government provides them the environment to thrive. Mr. President wants business owners to wake up in the morning, go about their businesses, and thrive. However, whatever it is that they are supposed to commit to the government, go ahead and do it. He believes that if an SME is paying his or her tax, the government must also live up to its own obligation to that SME as well. So we're trying to create such an environment where there's confidence between the MSMEs, that's the small business owners, and the government. When you tell an SME, oh, you have to pay your tax, they understand why they must pay their tax. They understand why they must do X, Y, Z to government, because the government on its own has gone ahead to do its own bits, basically. We also want a situation where our commercial banks and the developmental finance institutions in the federal government can start giving out credit facilities to SMEs in single digits, and it remains so. This is very, very critical. It is very, very critical that SMEs So it is very critical for SMEs it is okay. It is very important for MSMEs to have access to funding, especially at a single digit. We must get to that level in the country where SMEs walk into banks and within a day or two they are able to get a facility. We must get to that point. And I know that this current government has been discussing constantly with the CBN and other, even the commercial banks, to see that we get to that level. I know that Mr. President and Mr. Vice President are very, very, very interested in that space, and we've been trying to, as a government, see how we can ensure that this is done and done very quickly. That's number one. Then SMEs must also have access to world-class facilities. We must build clusters for them, long-lasting clusters for SMEs. We must build such that an SME can walk into a place, even if he or she does not have the personal funds to get those equipment, as long as their business, they can walk into a cluster and achieve whatever they are supposed to achieve and go about their businesses. We must get to that point. And these are some of the mandates that both Mr. President and Vice President have asked us in the SME space to look at and see that we try to achieve in full. We try to achieve in full at very earnest. Now, what are the challenges? The challenges are that SMEs, oh, sorry, I've just spoken about the challenges now. I'm talking about the future plans. Our future plans are that we get to all these spaces I've just mentioned a few minutes ago, basically. But not just get there, getting there and sustaining it. You see, we do not want to get to a level, a world-class level recognized by everyone. Then within a few months or a few years, you've dropped back to sub that level. We want to get to a level that can be maintained and, if possible, further taken up. That's the level we want to get to. Basically, in Nigeria, to be able to we want the conditions that SMEs in Nigeria operate, to be able to compare that to any country in the world. We want SME, we want Nigerians living outside the country to start saying to themselves that, oh, well, you know what, I think I'll go back to the country to go and run this business. Because at that time, you have built the confidence. We are going there. That's where we are getting to gradually, because we have great and enormous support from Mr. President to ensure that we get to that particular level. But at this point, let me encourage my listeners out there to kindly call the phone number out there if you have any questions, or you'd send a text, a WhatsApp message to the WhatsApp number if you have any questions. The phone number once again is 080-5599-6121. That's the phone number. And on the WhatsApp number is 080-5599-6919. That's the WhatsApp number. Yes, I understand we have a caller right now. No. Hello? Oh, so sorry we lost that caller. Please kindly call back. Thank you very much. Now, I would like to expatiate further on the MSME Awards, which is coming up on the 16th of July. We got to the point of the MSME Awards when during the clinics, His Excellency, Mr. Vice President, has seen a lot of very creative SMEs. He's seen a lot of very industrial, young Nigerians. He's seen a lot of smart youths, and he has said we should find a way of rewarding excellence. We should find a way of rewarding excellence. We should find he had said we should find a way of rewarding excellence. If there are SMEs across the country who are playing by the books, who are striving to excel, we should, as a government, have a platform to reward all such SMEs once a year at least. And that's how we came up with the National MSME Awards, basically. And this is the third edition. In the National MSME Award, it is very simple to get nominated or to nominate yourself. Okay. It is very, I understand we're going to be going on a break in the next 2 minutes, but let me quickly explain how to get on to nominate yourself for the National MSME Awards. It is very simple. Just log on to www.msmeclinics.com.ng www.msmeclinics.com.ng. You get there. Once you get to the clinics, you go to the part that says awards. You log on to the awards parts. You download your video, and hula, there you are. We have your 1 minute video, basically speaking. You have successfully nominated yourself. Let me also say that the clinics always gives out the awards. People have opportunities to win cars and millions of naira, basically speaking. So, and it is federal government's own way of saying, well done to SMEs that are thriving and striving to excel. Thank you very much. I'll get back to you once we return from our 2 minutes break. Okay, I understand we have a caller on the line. Hello? Hello? Okay, so we'll be going on we'll be going on a very short break. Thank you very much. Yes. Okay. It's fine. Now, wow. See how time flies actually. So I've done 25 minutes.
You've done more than 25. You've done 30 something minutes.
Okay, because he didn't start the timing on time.
Okay, this start the time.
I can hear people speaking.
Go on break, you don't say him.
I can hear people. Okay, they've cut off. I heard two people speaking.
And two people speaking.
Okay.
No.
Hello? No, the person. What is talk?
Let them try and call him so that we can test the quality.
Let's try to call him.
Yeah.
So let's call him.
Hello?
I will call him with my phone. Okay, can I call him?
Hello?
Yes, hello? Hello? Good morning. Hello? Sorry? No, I can't hear, but I could hear.
Hello, sir.
Yes, hello?
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, but I can't hear you.
So one other thing we did as a government was so hold on. So what is it? Somebody's phone is ringing. Oh, okay. Yes. No problem. Am I the one that will say welcome back? Yeah, you're welcome back to Have Your Say. And my name is Tola Adekunle-Johnson. Once again, I'm Special Assistant to the President in the Office of the Vice President on Micro, Small and Medium Enterprise. So, before we went on the break, I had spoken about the awards and how to log on the awards. I also wanted to mention one thing we have done as a government, especially during this lockdown, the COVID-19 lockdown. You see, we had looked at the NAFDAC space and the registration, and how we had looked at how much and how long it was taking SMEs to register products on NAFDAC, and then we have sat down with them with the management of NAFDAC and the Honorable Minister of Health, with the management of NAFDAC, the DG NAFDAC, graciously approved a scheme which was launched.
Hello.
Hello.
Good morning. Okay, please, am I on to the program?
Oh yes, you are on to the program. Good morning or good afternoon. Sorry.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. We can hear you.
Please, I'm Kazim calling from Ibadan.
Oh, Kazim from Ibadan. Nice to hear you. Oh, we lost the caller. Kazim from Ibadan, please kindly call back. So as I was saying, the scheme, the NAFDAC scheme, which is going to last for 6 months, reduced the registration of MSME products by 80%. But it's going to be done online. Those products registration will be done online. 80%. So it means, for instance, if you used to register a certain product for um, for 10,000 naira. Now you register such products for 2,000 naira. I mean, at this time, the government feels like that can further help MSMEs, basically, in their businesses. Then, hello? Hello? Sorry? From where? Hello? Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. Looks as if we lost that caller once again. So, in all of this, what we are trying to do as a government is to ensure, like I said earlier on, is to ensure that doing business or owning a business in SME and in the country is not a problem, but rather is a solution, because all over the world, the greater employment in any nation come from the MSME or the SME space. So we are trying to live up to our own responsibility as a government, but whilst trying to do that, we're also welcoming ideas from the private sector and the SMEs themselves. So once again, we'll be going on another very quick break. We're going on another very quick break. Yes, welcome back once again. And I understand somebody just asked that what is the federal government doing to cushion the effects of the lockdown of the COVID-19 pandemic on micro and small businesses? Well, hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes. Hello? You're welcome. You're welcome to have your say. Who am I speaking with?
Hello?
Hello. Good afternoon. You're welcome to have your say. It looks like we're having a little technical glitch. Who am I speaking with, please? Hello? Yeah, please, kindly go ahead with your question.
Hello? Can I go ahead with my
Yes,
question?
kindly go ahead with your question. I can hear you. You can go ahead with your question. Okay, so it seems we lost that caller. What I was trying to respond to a question by an earlier caller who wanted to know what the federal government is doing to cushion the effects of the pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic lockdown. Well, as a government, I want to believe that there are a number of other, apart from the NISA and CBN household and other loan facilities that have come out or is in public knowledge. There are also I believe that there are also a number. Hello, I believe that there are also a number of other I believe that there are also a number of. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, good morning, sir. Oh, good afternoon. I'm so sorry. Pardon? Zone 6. Oh, Adebayo from Ogun State. Okay. Good afternoon, sir. Okay, sir. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead, sir. Yes, sir. We can hear you. Kindly go ahead, sir. For those that are just starting their businesses. Okay. You want to know what the plans of the government are for. If I understand what you're saying, now, if you're a new business owner, if you're a new SME, you know, one good thing is that the government even last year launched the Finance Act for MSMEs, where if you do not make up to 25 million, you are not supposed to pay. You are not supposed to pay tax, basically speaking. 25 million in a year, basically. You are not supposed. Hello? Oh, then you will be required as a business to register your company. It is very critical. It is very important. Now, if you are not even able to register as a PLC, you can register as a business name. To register right now as a business name, I believe it's about 10,000 naira. Good. Thank you very much. Okay. Okay. Bayo from Ogun State. Thank you for your question. Now, I'm aware that it is very tough for businesses, new ones, who do not have any form of history, you know, to get a facility, a loan facility from any bank. But I'm also aware that a number of banks, especially the Bank of Industry, can give you such facility without a collateral. You know, Bank of Industry has this scheme where you can get up to 5 million naira without a collateral, but you must have a bankable and very solid business plan. That's one. You must also have somebody who can stand in for you as a guarantor. So with that, you're able to get up to the total of 5 million naira. Then if you are looking to push to 10 million naira, you must have 2 guarantors. So and it is also a single-digit loan as well. And I think one thing I must say very quickly is that right now, because of the COVID pandemic, the federal government has approved, has approved that every federal government development finance institution reduce its facility to 5% for the next 1 year. So it means that if you are getting a facility that is about 4 or 5 years, the next 1 year you are going to be paying maybe 1%, and we are going to be paying 5% instead of the usual 9%. Then aside from that, you have an extra year of moratorium on your facility. It means that you have an extra 1 year extra 1 year added on the number of years you already had before you finish paying your loan. So they're trying to make it easier, you know, for businesses within the country. Thank you. I hope I've been able to answer your question, Bayo. So if you're a new business, first thing is to ensure that your business is registered. That is very key. Register your business. Once your business is registered, try and get a tax identification number. When the tax identification, just try and get a tax identification number. Then you can, like I said, you can get a good business plan. If you are not able to write a good business plan for If you are not able to get a good business plan written by yourself, you can go to Smedan. Smedan offices across Smedan, they have offices across the entire nation. And I know that they help facilitate, they help in writing, they help in writing business plans. They can teach you how to write those business plans or give you people to help you facilitate writing all such business plans. Yeah, there's a second question on how to get a loan for SMEs. Like I said, it's tied to my initial to the initial question. How do you get a loan for SMEs? You know, the element anybody that wants to give you money for will be looking at is your business plan. It further helps if you have a history. If you have a history of doing business and doing business well, there's a track record. There's a track record of your financial management. There are a lot of businesses that do not even have a business account. There are a lot of businesses that have business accounts, but route all such route business transactions through their personal accounts. Banks and funding institutions are not able to assess financial status. So if they're able to assess your true financial status, it makes it a bit difficult for them to grant you facilities. You know, even when you are granted facilities, say for instance you needed 2-3 million, and they're able to assess that what has passed through, what has gone in and out of your account, it's been just 1.5 million naira. They will tell you that they can give you just 500,000 naira. So it's also very important, and it's also key for you as an SME to know that once you have your business, you must run all such business properly. Financially, it must be properly run. You must ensure that you comply with other government regulatory agencies as well. I hope that answers that question. I hope that answers that question. No. Oh yes. No, the government is also, you know, the government is also looking at other creative ways to ensure that SMEs are able to access this money. You know, we're looking at the issue of collateral registry. These are the time to go, and we are aware that we are aware that these are the time to go, and if properly put into use, this will further make it easier for SMEs to access loans. Another thing, one of the I don't call it the issues we have noticed amongst MSMEs or SMEs is that of capacity building. You know, we have noticed that SMEs do not build their own capacity. SMEs do not build their own capacity. As an SME, you must constantly build your capacity. You know, just have that capacity. Even if you're not using it at that point in time, just have it, because there will come a time where it will be demanded of you. Basically, so we must constantly build our capacities. As an SME, you must know when you need a loan and when you want a loan. So you must understand how much you need as a company and how much you want as a person, as the CEO of the company. Oftentimes, SMEs are granted loans, and they are granted loans that are way above their capacity, and those loans go bad. You know, so we as SMEs must constantly, maybe quarterly or every 6 months or twice in a year, what you can do is build your capacity, the capacity of yourself and your company as a whole, to see how you can meet the now evolving daily world standard. So that, for instance, you now know as an SME that, oh, if we run our company in XYZ formats, we'll be able to save X, Y, Z. So when we thought we needed 5 million as a loan, we might not need more than 2.1 or 2.5. So in that case, you are even saving yourself the stress of going to go and take what you do not need but rather want. That's on the one hand. Then on the second hand, the issue of bookkeeping is very key. It's very critical. SMEs must keep their books. It is very critical that you just keep your books. You must know what is coming as profit. You must know what you are spending as you must know what is profit and you must know what is not profit. It is very, very important. As an SME, basically, we have numbers of SMEs that just don't take their monies to the bank. You must keep your books properly as an SME. You must build the capacities of your people. And we as a government are thriving daily to ensure that we create that environment that sees that gives confidence to the SMEs as well. As I round up, I would like to say once again, let me go over some of the things I had said earlier on. I would like to say, as an SME, we know that it is not the best time for business anywhere in the world. It's not the best time for anything anywhere in the world. As a result of the unfortunate COVID pandemic that has taken over the world, that has reduced everyone to staying at home, that has cut down on people's businesses and income. But as an SME, this is also the time for you to dig deep and be creative with your businesses. If you are not going out to your business, you can go virtually and do your business. If your business is the type that can be done virtually, I will encourage you to do that. Basically speaking, you must also take advantage of any government scheme right now. You must take advantage of the NISA CBN scheme. You must take advantage of the NAFDAC scheme and any other scheme that will be announced by the federal government. This is the time to take very, very good advantage of such scheme. Basically, thank you very much. My name is Tola Adekunle-Johnson once again, and it's been nice having you. Oh, I hear that we have. Oh, okay. Let me just take this last caller from Lagos. We are Bode from Lagos. Okay. Bode wants to know the modalities. Okay. Okay. So you want to know the modalities for putting in place the sustainability of SMEs considering various loan schemes. Oh, and how cumbersome it has been to get the NISA loan. Well, the modalities for putting a business in place. First things first, you decide what you want to do as an SME. Now, you must understand, are you going into this business because you are seeing that your friend has made money somewhere or is making money from it? Is it your passion? You see, you must go into a business that you can do and you will not run out of that business if, for instance, you're not making money. You must be driven. It must be something that you're used to. You must be driven. Now, you want to set up a business, the first thing to do is to ensure, go and check whether that business name is already been taken by somebody. Set up a business, you register your business. After registering your business, go to other relevant agencies that you think you'll be required to have permits to set up that business. Ensure that all your papers are complete. Once you register your business, and now going to the issue of loans. You see, the NISA loan. I know it is simple, and I know it is straightforward. I know you are supposed to go online to go and apply for it, and they get back to you after a bit of time. I think they call you for an interview, and afterwards, they now decide if you have qualified or not, and you get credited. That is the process I know they follow, basically speaking, and I know it cannot be influenced by anyone. It is your business document and your business proposal is the only thing that can influence it. Once again, thank you very much, and thank you for having me and have your say.